Welcome back to the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashanti Silva. On this week's episode, it's about the SFJAZZ Collective. During this hour, we're going to be talking about more of their best albums of all time. Here's a quick recap of what's coming up. We start off with 2008, Live, the music of Wayne Shorter. This one finds the group delving into Shorter's mystical compositions. Footprints, Infantiles, and Nefertiti are reimagined with conversational interplay. Harlan's restless drumming dancing against Penman's grounding bass. In 2009, Live, the music of McCoy Tyner, the collective channels Tyner's percussive power. Passion Dance bursts with layered horn riffs, Search for Peace slows to meditative beauty, and originals like Xenon's Viaggio twist Tyner's harmonies into fresh rhythmic shapes. The album pulses with physical energy, horns like brass choirs, drums like waves. 2010's Live, the music of Horace Silver emphasizes groove, funk, and soulful melody. Song for My Father and Nika's Dream are reworked with lush horn voicings, while Xenon's Lingala 6 and Penman's Cultural Shift show the band's compositional mastery. Finally, 2011, Live in New York, the music of Stevie Wonder expands their reach. Superstition and Sir Duke are reinvented with layered polyrhythms, while Visions becomes a meditative ballad. Originals like Harlan's Vortex reveal the band's evolving voice. During this hour, we're going to be talking about some of their best albums. Over the past decade, this ensemble has redefined what a jazz collective can be. A rotating lineup of virtuoso musicians, a platform for new compositions, and a fearless reinvention of the masters. So we're going to be spotlighting 4 landmark albums from 2008 to 2011, each a testament to the group's artistry and vision. Let's start with 2008, Live 2008, the music of Wayne Shorter and original compositions. Few composers match Shorter's ability to blend abstraction, melody, and spirituality, and the collective's lineup, Zenon, Douglas, Lovano, Eubanks, Rosnes, Penman, and Harlan, with conversational interplay that makes every performance feel alive. Nefertiti transforms into a suite, stretching its cyclical theme across shifting time signatures, while Footprints becomes a dialogue between Harlan's restless drumming and Penman's grounding bass. Originals like Xenon's 2 and 2 explore motive architecture, and Ross's Hope Lives Here channel Shorter's harmonic ambiguity into a glowing modal hymn. And then there's Infantiles, slow, suspended with breathtaking solos from Lovano and Douglas. One of the most beautiful sounds in the collective's history. Live 2008 isn't simply a tribute, it's a meditation on composition itself, a reminder that great jazz writing invites endless reinterpretations. Moving on to 2009, the collective tackles Live 2009, the music of McCoy Tyner and original compositions. Tyner's percussive power and harmonic expansiveness pose a challenge. How to translate that dense piano language into a full ensemble? Zenon, Douglas, Lovano, Eubanks, Rosnes, Penman, and Harlan answered brilliantly. Search for Peace offers a contrast, slow, meditative, and deeply lyrical, with Lovano's tenor solo a raw spiritual highlight, and Eubanks' trombone weaving a burnished counterpoint. Originals like Xenon's Viaggio channel Tyner's harmonic sequences into unexpected rhythmic form. The physicality of this album is remarkable. Horns punch like brass choirs, drums surge like waves, a perfect balance between Tyner's muscular lyricism and the collective's evolving identity. Then comes 2010 with Live 2010, the music of Horace Silver and original compositions. By now, the collective had settled into a rhythm of stability and invention, and Silver's groove-based jazz was fertile ground. The lineup, Zenon, Mark Turner, Avishai Cohen, Robin Eubanks, Edward Simon, Matt Penman, and Eric Harlan brought fresh colors. Classics like Song for My Father, Peace, and Nika's Dream are reimagined with layered meters, lush horn voicings, and crisp live drumming. Eubanks' arrangement of Nika's Dream is harmonically rich without losing swing, while Simon's piano brings elegance and lift. Original works like Zenon's Lingala 6, Penman's Cultural Shift, and Cohen's Lydia show a band at the height of compositional sophistication. Live 2008 grooves effortlessly, joyful, human, and deeply musical. Finally, 2011, Live in New York, the music of Stevie Wonder and original compositions. Here the collective steps beyond jazz giants into the broader spectrum of American songwriting. Zenon, Turner, Cohen, Eubanks, Simon, Penman, and Harlan treat Wonder's songs not as pop covers, but as harmonic playgrounds. Superstition is electrifying, restructured into layered polyrhythms with horn lines twisting around the beat. Sir Duke bursts with joyous syncopation, full of energy and swing. And then there's Visions, meditative with Simon's piano and Penman's bass crafting a sacred emotional core. Originals like Harlan's Vortex and Eubanks' Summer Days push harmonically forward, proving the band's voice is inseparable from its tribute. Live in New York 2011 shows that great songs transcend genre, and the collective doesn't just jazz them up, they translate their soul into something entirely new. So there you have it, 4 seasons, 4 albums, each a brilliant fusion of reverence and reinvention. From Shorter to Tyner, Horace Silver to Stevie Wonder, the SFJAZZ Collective continues to prove that jazz is a living, breathing art form, one that evolves, converses, and inspires. On this week's episode, it's about the SFJAZZ Collective, their biography, and best hits. Now it's time for some trendy music news. Experimental jazz guitarist Ian Smith is set to drop his new album Key on December 5th, and this one isn't for the faint of heart. It's wild, it's raw, it's fully improvised. Joining Smith on this sonic adventure, a powerhouse lineup: David Torn on electric and national steel guitar, Tom Rainey on drums, and Scott Petito on bass and behind the console. No rehearsals, no charts, just pure conversation in sound. Two pieces, Be Still and Raindrops and Waterspouts, began with loose harmonic sketches, but everything else born in the moment. Four great musicians, one room, and a beautiful back and forth between the musicians. This project is decades in the making, old friendships rekindled, new alchemy formed. It's a landmark in modern improvisation. So mark it down, Key, December 5th, not just an album, an unfiltered musical melt. To start off with, 2013's Live at SFJAZZ Center, the music of Chick Corea marking their 10th anniversary. Korea's intricate harmonies and rhythmic brilliance meet a collective at full maturity. Spain dazzles with Cohen's trumpet and Zenon's alto trading lines over a dancing rhythm section, while Crystal's silence becomes a haunting ensemble meditation. 2016's Live, the music of Miles Davis, reconstructs Davis's legacy. All blues and So What emerge as modern dialogues, while Zenon's crisis response reflects Miles' restless innovation. The 10th anniversary best of distills a decade of transformation. From Naima to Visions, this collection showcases the collective's evolving sound, disciplined, exploratory, and deeply human. Finally, 2021's new works reflecting the moment responds to our turbulent times. Potter, Charles, and Simon lead originals like Mutuality and We the People, blending cinematic textures with social urgency. This is where jazz becomes a living commentary to create meaningful, forward-looking art as vital as ever. And that was a quick recap of what's coming up during this hour, and you're tuned into the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashan De Silva. And this is the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashan De Silva. On this week's episode, it's about the SFJAZZ Collective, their biography and best hits. During this hour, we're going to be talking about more of their best albums. Let's start with 2013's Live at SFJAZZ Center, the music of Chick Corea and original compositions. This was the collective's 10th anniversary season, performed live at the SFJAZZ Center. Korea's music, full of rhythmic intimacy and harmonic daring, fits them perfectly. Take Spain, for instance. Cohen's trumpet and Zenon's alto split the melody with radiant precision before the rhythm section launches into sparkling momentum. Crystal's silence transforms into a haunting tone poem, with Simon's piano echoing the original duet. Original compositions shine as well. Zenon's Luz, Dima, and Harlan's tidal wave channel Korea's inventive spirit, and Penman's wavelength that cinematic scope. Live at SFJAZZ Center 2013 isn't just a tribute, it's a statement of identity, a decade of collective growth distilled into music that challenges the mind and speaks to the heart. In 2016, the collective took on perhaps jazz's most daunting figure, Miles Davis. Live at SFJAZZ Center 2016, the music of Miles Davis and original composition showcases the group's 13 years into its mission. The lineup: Zenon, Sanchez, Jones, Eubanks, Simon, Penman, and Calvert. Their arrangements don't mimic any single Davis era. All blues opens in spacious slow motion, lush horns and brushed cymbals, before shifting into a contemporary groove. So What is reconstructed into shifting meters, the iconic bass motif reimagined with polyrhythmic flair, while Eubanks' trombone solos are earthy and exploratory. Original compositions like Zenon's Crisis Response and Simon's Sketches Revisited capture Miles' restless, ever-evolving spirit. It's cerebral and emotionally precise, a masterclass in homage and reinvention. Next, the 10th anniversary compilation, 10th anniversary Best of Live at SFJAZZ Center. Think of it as both retrospective and living document. Across multiple discs, the collective revisits their tributes to Coltrane, Monk, Hancock, Shorter, Silver, Wonder, Korea, and Tyner. Early reinterpretations of Naima sit alongside later Spain and Visions, revealing the group's evolution, tonal palette richer, rhythmic elasticity bolder, ensemble writing more sophisticated. Original compositions like Lingala, Viejo, and Tidal Wave shine alongside reimagined classics, proving that this is not a repertory project but a creative workshop. For newcomers, it's a perfect getaway. For longtime fans, it's a celebration of endurance, adaptability, and collective genius. Finally, we arrive at new works reflecting the moment recorded live in 2021. This album is the collective's response to an extraordinary time, the pandemic, social unrest, and a world in flux. With a new generation at the helm, Chris Potter, Dave Sanchez, and Edward Simon, Matt Brewer, and Kendrick Scott, the group turns inward. Every composition reflects the moment. Potter's Mutuality begins solemnly before soaring into collective improvisation. Simon's Togetherness offers quiet, healing lyricism. The soundscape, vibraphone shimmer, layered horns, resonant bass is both intimate and monumental. This is jazz as social dialogue, as communal reflection. The album closes not with a finale but with a sense of continuation, the collective writing history real time. And that was some insight into more of SFJAZZ Collective's best albums of all time. And you're tuned into the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashan De Silva. We've come to an end of this week's episode of the Jazz Update, so now let's recap what we were discussing during this program. Formed in 2004 under SF Jazz founder Randall Klein, this ensemble was designed differently. No fixed star, no single leader. Instead, a rotating roster of world-class musicians dedicated to one mission: honor the past, create the future. Each season, they take on a dual challenge: reimagine the works of a jazz legend and write bold new originals that speak to the moment. Over the years, the lineup has featured titans like Miguel Zenon, David Sanchez, Joe Lovano, Stephon Harris, and a lot of others. They rehearse with the discipline of scholars but perform with the hearts of poets. What they create isn't tribute, it's transformation, a living laboratory of modern jazz. Now let's dig into the albums that define their journey. 2016, Live, the music of Miles Davis. All Blues and So What return as restless new conversations, while Zenon's crisis response channels Miles' fierce spirit of invention. 2005, Originals and the music of John Coltrane. Naima becomes an ethereal meditation, and Rosas's mirror image reveals the group discovering its own harmonic voice. 2006, the music of Herbie Hancock. Stephon Harris's vibe shimmer through actual proof, turning funk into post-bop fire, while Lingala 3 stretches jazz into global rhythm. 2008, the music of Wayne Shorter. Mystical and introspective. Footprints, infantile Nefertiti drift like dream logic, anchored by Rosas's Hope Lives Here. And 2009, the music of McCoy Tyner. A surge in physical power. Passion Dance rose, Search for Peace kneels, and Voyager reshapes Tyner's harmonic gravity with folkloric warmth. And that was a quick recap of everything that we discussed on this week's episode of the Weekend Jazz Update with Yashani Silva. And that brings me to an end of this week's episode of the program. You can check out the archives of today's show on my YouTube channel, The Weekend Jazz Update with Yashan. I'll see you again next week. Have a great week ahead.